Hello, welcome to day 19 of my promise to you to do a walk and talk for my socials, mental health walk and talk. And I'm really enjoying this, and I'm really enjoying doing stuff on YouTube again. If you're not over on my YouTube, go give it a subscribe. youtube.com/30 plus men's fitness. I've added some nice new subscribers. I'm not doing it for, I'm not like trying to sell something at the end of it. Just really enjoying it. So it is a Friday night, and we're doing all right. Just out with the dogs. I did a video recently, a couple of days ago. I talked about I've dropped 5 kilos since my dad started radiation and had his tube fitted, just because I've had to take extra. Well, I wasn't walking the dogs. It was between him and the boy's mum, but I've been waiting in the wings for years to walk the dogs, and it's been amazing. My steps have gone from 15,000 to 23,000, and I've dropped 5 kilos. I've not changed anything apart from just more movement. So there's a little message in that. There's a lovely little message in that, and I'll tell you what, I keep evangelizing to clients all the time about how much I'm enjoying it. I mean, this is just amazing. So on the days I'll do a phoneless run with Ivy, and then the other days, like today, I'll take the 3 of them out. I won't run with the 3 of them, and I'll just create content. So I was out for like an hour and 44 this morning. I just create content. I check in with all my online clients. By the time I get to the gym, I've done like a TikTok video, an Instagram video, some stories, checked in with all my clients, checked in with my groups, and yeah, it's like my online work is done. It's brilliant. So the dogs have been in with my dad all day, so I wanted to bring them back out, even though they've had a good run, because they like their evening one, and I enjoy it too. So yeah, we are doing the walk and talk on this walk, and I wanted to talk tonight about how not letting one day where you drop your head turn into like a couple of days, and then you're completely off the track that you're trying to be on. I'll never forget, during COVID, I was listening to a lot of Ant Middleton's podcast, and he was training a group of people just with the psychology side for the London Marathon, and then it got cancelled like everything did. And you know, he was dealing with a lot of disappointment, and somebody asked him, they said, well, what do you do when people suffer big, setbacks, something like that, an event gets cancelled, and they're despondent, or they get some bad news. He said, we give everyone 24 hours, and we said that we let them be upset, kick, scream, moan, and he said, but the next day we build a plan and we go again. And I like that because I think yesterday I had a bit of a down day. This is not like a woe me video, I'm just giving you some perspective. And I was just like, everything was getting on top of me yesterday, and I realised I was tired. I'd done 2 sort of runs on the bounce with the dog, and they were starting to get warmer, and I was just a bit like, ugh. And there was just a few other issues apart from my dad, and I was just like, oh, what's the point? But I had a really good night's sleep last night, and then this morning, that's the great thing, I felt born again, and I felt really reinvigorated. My mindset was better. Nothing's changed. My dad's still very unwell on the sofa, and we've still got the same sort of things going on in my business, but I felt renewed. I had a good sleep, and I was really pleased that I stuck to my protocols, and this is the message for you guys as well, because it's so easy to say, yeah, gonna do this, gonna do that, and then we just have a bad day for whatever reason. We just have a bad day, and it's like, it could be work, it could be kids, it just could be an unexpected bill. It's life, right? Someone could trigger you. Very easy to be triggered online, isn't it, these days with all the division, and then next thing you know, you're like, I'll never forget seeing this infographic, and it said, did you really have a bad day, or did you just have a bad hour and then you let it ruin your day? I used to be terrible for that. And then, when you self-sabotage or you go off piece and you're just down in the dumps for multiple days, you look back and you kind of go, what happened there? And I think reflection is really important, because without reflection, you can't see where your kind of shortcomings are or what your weaknesses are. I always say, if I'm tired, I'm in trouble. That's why I literally make sleep like it's so important. And again, I don't care. I'm 47 now, I'm 48 in October, and a good night's sleep excites me. A bath with a Radox bath before bed and candles and listening to self-development excites me. And I'm not embarrassed to admit, I've been a nightclub promoter a bit, I've been a raver, I've done a lot, mate. But at the time, this time of my life, I get so much pleasure from kind of living this holistic lifestyle and feeling good. I'm feeling good, and I really rely on those things now. And I'll say this to a lot of my clients, like, you know, have you tried this, have you tried that, have you tried meditation, have you tried not scrolling before bed? A lot of people don't want to know, and yet they're still caught in those vicious cycles that they can't seem to break out of. So I think it's really important that we have that awareness of, you're going to have bad days, but stick to the plan. I can tell you this from years of personal development, currently really working hard to get into the absolute shape of my life, that it's worth it. It's worth sticking to the plan, because as James Clear says, you know, decide who you want to become, prove it to yourself with small daily wins. That's the one, when you can stick to your plan, stick to your steps, stick to your water, stick to your protein, even on the days you can't be asked. That's the one that's building character. It's the same with like gratitude. Very easy, isn't it, to be grateful when you're sat on a balcony on holiday with a cold beer, your family are there kicking around in the pool. You're like, yeah, but can you be grateful on the real tough days as well? I'll never ever forget, I had and again, a little bit spiritual here, before I met Becky a couple of years ago, I had a really tough start to the year with some dental issues. I'd never had problems with my teeth, and with the space of like 2 months I had to have 2 teeth out. One dentist royally fucked it up, and I was in agony, like talking like my kids had never seen me like it. I was like literally rolling around on the floor in agony. And apparently having teeth out is a sign of a level up, a spiritual level up. And I remember driving my car. I've never had pain like it. Like even the temperature change, like going from inside the gym to outside, it was awful. But I remember like literally driving in my car crying, going, thank you universe, because I know there's got to be something great around the corner. And I think that every time you have big challenges, if you can be grateful, then sounds really weird, isn't it? Be grateful for the challenges. That will really ground you as well. Something I try and do every day is just be grateful, even if it's been a tough one, and sometimes you kind of like, you get into that kind of why me? But I tell you, your energy is everything. The vibration you give off, the energy you give off, that's everything. I really do believe that your energy will attract good into your life. So try and keep that energy high. Yeah, today's been a good one, and I just wanted to share that with you, because I think I see a lot of clients, they'll be on such a good trajectory, and then just all of a sudden there'll be something, and they're back on that kind of wayward path, and then they'll try and start something again, and they're like, right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Yeah, but what happened last time? What happened? Why did you, don't like the word fall off the wagon, but why did you, what happened? Why did you stop? Oh, right, it was this. Okay, so it wasn't the gym routine, it wasn't the nutrition, it was something, you had something going on at work. Right, okay. So is there potentially you're going to have challenges at work again in the future? Right, yeah. Okay, cool. So we know that it's not the training, it's not the nutrition. You had a reaction to some life stress, some work stress. So should we look at managing that? And that's the key thing, is understanding that you can say you want to change, you want to get fitter, you want to get healthier, but if every time you have an argument with a loved one, or you have a long day at work, one of the kids keeps you up, there's stress, you revert back to type. And it's that knee-jerk revert back to type. You're not going to crack it. And do you know what? Honestly, it's really hard when you feel like you're getting nowhere. I remember 2019, I was on holiday in Turkey with a fam, and I was just scrolling YouTube, some sort of self-development stuff, and Tony Robbins popped up, who I love, one of the world's most popular life coaches, if not the world, if not the leading one. But it was like an audio, and it was on YouTube. It was from a book he wrote called The Body You Deserve. And I was listening to it, and he explained it so well. I was like, wow, it's really profound. He said, okay, so imagine that you're not happy with the way you look and feel right now, okay? Now, he goes, I want you to think about how long this has been consuming you. Like, how long have you been fighting the good fight? And I remember at the time, what we're talking now, 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So I was like I was early 40s. And, I'd always battled it, even as a PT. So I'm going, I can relate to this, probably 3 decades, right? And he's going, right, okay, how's that affected your life? And he was obviously doing a lot of getting people to sit and think about it. How's that affected your life? Have you refused to go places? Have you lacked confidence to try new things or meet new people? How's that affect your dating, your love life, this, that, and the other? Goes, right, now imagine you've got kids, right? How's that affecting them? Like, do you constantly say no to going to the swimming pool or going to the beach just because you don't want to reveal yourself? Gosh, you know, I used to dread going swimming, dread going to the beach in my fatter days. Oh, no way, don't invite me there. Oh, no. Are you less spontaneous? I love it if, like, I always like to say yes to my kids within reason. Like, if it comes to activity, and like my son, I go, Dad, can we go mountain biking on the weekend? Yeah. Oh, Dad, can we go on the bikes? When? Now, get your bike out. Let's go. That's not to impress you. I just love having that energy to be spontaneous with my kids, because most parents are just their automatic response to just be, oh no. And so Tony Robbins was like, right, okay, so this isn't just affecting your life, it's affecting your kids' life too. And then he said something again. He said, so think about how long it's consumed you, how long it's controlled you, and now double that. So if it's been 30 years, go ahead another 30 years of your life. Are you going to be alive that long? And he basically just got you to sit with it and go, like, how long are you willing to tolerate it? How long are you willing to tolerate that for your kids? You know? And I thought, wow. Because most people don't realise what it's doing to their loved ones by not being fit or healthy, or at least having a go. And just every time that, you know, life throws you something, you just go, I can't be arsed. Like, that's pretty much the case for most people. But it's not just affecting you. It's not just affecting your inner dialogue. That's radiating out. Like, have you ever been somewhere and you've not felt good in yourself for whatever reason? Like, I remember like going out and being on holidays, and you know, when you're a younger lad and you're going out with all your mates on the pool and you just don't feel good in yourself. Like, no matter, anyone can tell you, you don't feel good. You don't feel good about the way you look. And that energy you just give off just is like, people can feel it. It can almost bring down the vibe of the group, because that bad energy you just give off. I remember being on holiday with a mate, and like, oh, come on, we're going to go out with him, pull some birds, like, you know, like years and years ago, like late teens, early 20s. I didn't feel good about myself at the time. I just sat there really quiet. And I was thinking, I'm probably ruining this guy's holiday because I'm not up for it. It's just that energy I was giving off because I wasn't confident. But then on the contrary, you know, you've had nights where you're like, you feel the absolute nuts because maybe you've been in shape and you got your favourite clothes on, or whatever. You feel the absolute nuts, and you just go out and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not attached to anything, and then you just batting them off because the energy is completely different. Like, energy is everything. So if you're going around with that negative internal dialogue, you know, people are picking up on that. Your kids are picking up on that. You might be talking like shit to yourself, but your kids can feel that, you know, it's not good. It's not good energy. You're snapping at them. You don't want to do stuff with them. Do you really want to live like that? Do you know what I mean? And this is one of the things I always ask myself all the time, even when all the stress and the pressure comes. How am I going to show up in front of my kids? That's the most important thing. Like, you know, do you know, like, if people say something to you and, you know, it might hurt you, you know, there's a great book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Like, I've learned over the years to not really worry about what people say or think about me, because I actually don't give a shit. I used to. But, you know, if one of your kids said something to you, that would hurt, wouldn't it? You know, I never want one of my kids to go like, oh, you're just lazy, Dad, or, you know, that would break my Tony DeBart, mate. And so that's why, you know, my life's work is, I want to show up for my kids primarily, and then with the message, we're healthy, happy dad, and, you know, put that out there. That's the primary goal. I don't give a shit what anyone else thinks. But yeah, if your kids say something, that's going to hurt, innit? Imagine you've got a big derby and your son's just prodding you, your son or daughter's just prodding you in the derby, like going, oh, you're all fat, Daddy. That ain't the one, is it? That's got to be worth fighting for. So listen, I'm going to sign off soon, get this uploaded, going to go and have a bath, put my feet up. Really enjoying doing this. I don't want anything in return. If you want to subscribe to the YouTube channel, that's free. But if you're enjoying these musings, and I'm just trying to give people a slightly different perspective because it's just so easy to say I'm going to change, and then we just snap back into those poor habits. That's why you've really got to get into the psychology of things, I think. You really got to get into the psychology of things. You know how you feel. You know where you can improve. Sometimes you've got to sit in that pain and then, you know, just tell yourself, no matter what happens, I'll keep moving forward. Because as I said in last night's video, you know, it's like people will go, oh yeah, but I was doing so well, and then I, you know, I had a sick loved one, and all right, so sick loved one equals you can't put bottle of water to lips and drink it. Sick loved one equals you can't put one foot in front of the other and do steps. You know, sick loved one means that all of a sudden you switch from having a go with your diet to eating a fucking Chinese every day. It's just, these are just bullshit stories. Does that make sense? And we've all been there, we've all done it. But they're just stories. They're just stories. You know, you'll either find a way or you find an excuse. And honestly, I can tell you this. Honestly, just keep moving. If you have one bad day, still hit your targets. Get your head down. Don't doom scroll. Don't carry that shit into the next day. Because some days you'll get into bed, you'll be like, oh, you have a decent sleep, you wake up in the morning, you're like, we're back in the game. And that's a beautiful thing about it. Right, have a great weekend.